I'm going to show you how to identify dull cutter teeth and how to change those dull cutter teeth. But first, do you remember the last time you had to use a pair of dull scissors or a dull knife? How frustrating it was cutting through that object? Well, it's the same with a stump grinder. If you have dull cutter teeth, it struggles to cut through the stump. It has to work extra hard in order to do its task. When it's working extra hard, that means we're shortening the machine's lifespan. It means we're causing mechanical issues. And it also means we're adding a lot of time on the job site that is unnecessary. So we want to run sharp teeth on this machine in order to make life easy for the stump grinder. You're probably wondering, what does a sharp tooth look like? What does a dull tooth look like? With grinder teeth, it's different than with a knife blade. With grinder teeth, we're looking for a hard, sharp angle. It's typically close to 90 degrees, though not quite. This sharp edge is what actually shears away the stump matter. In contrast, look at this. It's got a dull, rounded edge. When this hits the wooden stump, it simply smashes it, versus this sharp edge, which planes the wood away. So, when we're examining our cutter wheel, we're looking for teeth that have excessive roundness. A little roundness is okay, it's gonna happen. It has the ability to cut within a certain threshold, but as the tooth becomes heavily rounded, that's when we wanna start thinking about changing that tooth. This one has got a little rounded edge, but that's okay. It's not enough to change yet, that's okay. Same with this one, just a slight round. This is still gonna cut okay. This one actually looks quite new. You can see there's a very hard edge there. This one needs to go. This has a big rounded edge. It evidently hit something, maybe a big rock or a piece of metal. This one will need to be changed. We see here, this is an excessively rounded tooth. Let's change it. So the first thing we have to do, don't forget, lockout, tag out. The keys should be in your pocket, and you need to lock out the device. We do so by placing the safety pin through. Now there's no way that this can hurt us. Even if somebody were to start the machine, it can't spin. The next thing you need to do is take your screwdriver and clean out around the nut. So we've got to be able to get our ratchet in there. So take this and just work your way around until you've got room in which to place your ratchet. Now I'm doing this just for the sake of the video. I've actually already cleaned the area around the tooth that we're going to be changing, but I just want you to see what this should look like. There, we have lots of space to get our ratchet in place. This is actually the tooth we're changing. Next, take your ratchet, place it on the nut, and then you will need a pole for extra leverage. These things get very tight. Don't smash down, don't jerk, just slow, steady pressure until we start to get movement. There we go. Once you get rotating, you no longer need the pole. Okay, now, once you get your tooth off, the next step is you need to examine the thread on the tooth to see, can we reuse this tooth? We're looking for thread that has no damage. If the thread has no damage, we send these off to be re-tipped with a new piece of sharp carbide. But if you see damage on the thread, just throw it away. It's done. This one's got a good thread, so I'm gonna place it in my box of dull teeth. Next, we need a sharp tooth, which I just happen to have one waiting. And we also need to examine our nuts. You can reuse nuts if they're in good condition, which this one is. It's in great condition. Although, if in doubt, just replace the nut. They're not expensive. Better to replace it than not if you're not sure. Place the tooth back in place. Hand tighten to begin with. Then, use your ratchet. Until you pull by hand. After you get it tight by hand, take your pull, give it maybe half strength. So we finished changing the tooth. It's securely in place. Now we can take our safety pin out of place. But at this point, you have a good feel for what to look for with a dull tooth, what a sharp tooth should look like, and how to change these teeth. So check your cutter wheel every day with your daily maintenance and change cutter teeth as necessary.